Dark Psychology 101. Dark Psychology 101. Three master manipulating tactics you should be aware of. What's up, family? What's the deal? What's the deal? Dreamwise here for another one. Yes, sir. I wanted to dive deep into the mental manipulation of the world and of people based off of us in the Patreon. We're going ham in this Mind Control 101 book. We just started it and we're going for the gusto. And I'm excited about that build. So I thought, why not dive deep into the fold of giving the family some of the darker, more sinister mind manipulation tactics that's happening out here in the world. You know, mind control and manipulation and persuasion is a part of just how humans move, right? Either unconsciously or consciously of their efforts. And it's important for us to have a sound foundational base of what's actually happening. A lot of people are just so automatoned out there, just moving through the world and not realizing that they might be getting played like a game of spades, baby. Big joke on that ass. Ha! What? And me personally, when I see the things, right, because I was studying NLP at 17, 18, I actually love, even if it's like in the form of like, let's say evil, right? I actually love it because I'm like, damn, they really trying to pull that bitch off. So I look at it like a whole game, which you should too. Because at the end of the day, you got to understand that the only freedom you will ever have is freedom in the mind. And understanding the power of your mind is going to set you free from any manipulation, any tactics, any goofy energy that might be persisting out here in the world. So I'm excited about this build. Shout out to the family. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all in here. Go down and go down. Let's get it started. Okay, so now, boom, pull up my slides. First off, let's say some ashes to the God, to the one, K Dot. K Dot turned 38 today. Happy Ride Earth Strong to the God. K Dot Kendrick Lamar. And it's interesting because he is a sign of freedom and this idea we call uplifting yourself, right? And he's one of these people that you can see he keeps it consistent and repetitiously moving into unlocking the shackles, if you will, for melanated beings. It's an interesting thing because, again, when you see these things, when you see somebody like Kendrick, you start to realize that, okay, some people are here on a heroic journey to help others out and set people free in a particular way. Because ever since his first album, even his debut album, he kind of leaned towards, you feel me, the aspect of, hey, I'm about to take this route, even though it was just an introduction into him expressing his talents and his gift. After that, he started taking off with Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly and so on and so forth, right? And the GNX and so on and so forth. And then last year, his birthday being the 10-year last year, while he was going through that escapade with Drake, he essentially was in his creative bag, as the 10 is just zeros and ones, right? So that's the creative sphere. That's this binary code that's creating the whole world. Because you're nothing but a whole bunch of zeros and ones. Zero is the great mother, the darkness, the chaos, right? And one is the penis, the point, the light. So you put them together, right? You create. And you create a baby, or metaphorically, you create an idea or a world, if you will. So him putting on a masterful display at last year and running amok, and then now it's coming to fruition where he's receiving all these awards and accolades. We just got to pay homage to the God and just realize that this time is a very powerful time to see a God in action. You feel me? Because he's doing God work in a lot of his musics, and we want to recognize that. And him turning 38 equals 11, and 11 is just awakening and enlightenment. 11 is a call to wake up spiritually and trust your own intuitive gifts. So, also 11 is just the reflection piece or the mirror piece, right? So whenever you see 11, just know whatever you're thinking is right and exact. You feel me? Whether it be low vibrational or not. Now it's up to you to have the courage, the strength to change it, right? If it is low vibrational, but that's a part of your awareness and your ability to observe your mind. So Kendrick turning 11 this year. Oh boy, just wait. You know that nigga gonna drop something. And when he drops something, it's going to be a call to the gods, even though all his albums are. All right, let's get it on. Three tactics you should be aware of. And this is from the book Dark Psychology 101. And these were the best ones I felt in me reading the book and going deep into the understanding of what actually the book is saying. These are the ones that kind of stuck out to me the most, these three tactics, and they were interesting enough and moves the needle enough to give people a ground awareness of, oh, okay, this is why these people move this way, or this is why this is happening. You feel me? And shit. The rest of the book is cool. You take it or leave it. Some of the tactics in the book, right? Like they got Dark Psychology 102, and they got other different dark psychologies out there, right? By this Pace dude. And even him, he could be skewed in the way he presents the information. But a lot of it is sound and exact. And I just picked the three best ones because I want the family to understand that this is about you being aware and observing the tactics that's out there. It says Dark Psychology 101 is an introductory guide to the hidden tactics people use to influence, manipulate, and control others through deception, fear, and emotional exploitation. It breaks down concepts like gaslighting, mind control, and the dark triad, narcissism, Machiavellian, and psychopathy to help readers recognize and protect themselves from psychological manipulation. So what I came to realize as I read the Mind Control 101 and the dark psychologies and stuff like that is that you're not necessarily going to be aware of it. You might be aware of it, but unconsciously you set in a particular framework in your mind that protects you from the attack. So essentially what can happen is you start to free yourself in a different way. You start to think of yourself in a different way instead of feeling like somebody's out to get you, right? The power is in you being a sovereign being in your own mind and understand different nuances of the tactics, but it doesn't necessarily have a conscious effect. Like you got to look and watch out for people and shit like that. You feel me? You just already implanted the information in your subconscious mind. So now essentially your emotions start to change about things. And in your emotional change, you start to move in a particular light and walk a life. You feel me? That serves you for the good. So you might be unconscious to you denying somebody access to the manipulation. But just because you know the information is sound and exact, because who's in control? Your subconscious mind, your spirit. And it's putting you in the best situation possible and it's going to give you the best response possible because you became anew. Hell, that's the whole story of Osiris and Set, or Osar and Set, right? Set manipulated Osar to go to the river with him so he could trick him into seeing a let's say a gift or whatever, right? And then he ended up putting them in a box. And then he ended up cutting his ass up in 14 pieces. So what that is really saying is Set being the glamour, right? Or the lower mind, right? Or, you know, your lower three chakras manipulates your higher mind and puts you in a box. And that box gets sent off into the river, right? Or scattered all around the world. So then Aset magic has to find these pieces, these 14 pieces, to reassemble you. But then in reassembling you, she just reassembles the phallus, which is the pineal gland, and creates a Heru or a hero to take over the reign of the kingdom. Because remember, if you're trying to take over your reign of the kingdom, you're trying to free your dome, freedom in the mind. So understand to the core, right? These manipulation tactics is part of the glamour as well, right? With Set being the glamour. Now, also remember, like I said in my last video, Set is somebody that could be tricked upon when they get ruled, like somebody worshiping Set, and then also the aspect of Set where you and Set are one, and you're controlling Set. So in controlling Set, it's basically controlling your demiurges. Demiurges be your food, right? Your consumption of food, your consumption of sex or whatever, right? Porn and all of that, your consumption to addictions. You don't want the addictions to control you. You control it, and you basically control it because you're sitting on top of the world. So when you see Baphomet sitting on top of the world, remember Baphomet is just a spiritual symbol of enlightenment or consciousness or Christ consciousness based off of you doing the spiritual work, right? Because all the symbols point to spiritual work, as above, so below, right? The Kundalini energy, the caduceus, breast and phallus, masculine and feminine energy, pineal gland with the horns, right? Astral travel with the wings, right? And then he's sitting on top of the world, which is basically saying I'm sitting on top of my lower self. So then you want to understand that your lower self can be manipulated based off of the trinkets and the glamour that they shine in front of your eyes and shit. You feel me? That's what the goddess Cassie is going through now. You feel me? She's trying to say she got manipulated, which could be true indeed, right? And you know, niggas is like looking at it like, nah, how'd you get manipulated? Shit, you really chose this life. But manipulation doesn't have to just be the power of coercion or the power of the gun. It can also be in the aspect of doing these small little tactics that trick you into believing that you're in control, but you're not. So I'm excited about this bill, baby. I'm excited about this bill. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Yeah, y'all like this thing up. What's up, family? What's the deal, man? We in here. Let's get it on. Chaos in the blood, baby. So yeah, y'all go get this book. It's a good book. It's a good read. And I think they also got it on Audible. So if you just want to Audible it real quick, shit, you'll turn up that fast. You feel me? All right, number one. This is a heavy one. This is a huge one. This one is always in constant motion. Gradual desensitization. Gradual desensitization. I can't even say the damn thing. Boiling frog method. It says this tactic works by increasing toxic or controlling behavior bit by bit. So the victim gets used to it without realizing how bad it's gotten. It's a slow burn, baby. It's a slow burn. So the example says a boss starts by asking you to stay 15 minutes late, then 30, then you're working weekends for free. And it can be an unconscious thing too with your boss, because essentially your boss can actually not know that he's using a manipulation tactic against an individual that's not strong enough, that doesn't stand up for themselves. So that coworker, they don't stand up for themselves. They just take whatever the boss says, and the boss says, "Oh, I know who I can lean on." Right? It's an unconscious thought with the boss. Oh yeah, let me lean on Robert and shit. That nigga gonna do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he'll do that shit, nigga. I got a golf tournament this weekend. Fuck it, I'm gonna lean on that nigga. He'll do that shit. He been doing everything for me for years. I know that nigga gonna do it. You feel me? So it starts off slow because they unconsciously or consciously. Let's not kid ourselves. Some of these people might have the conscious ability to recognize that they about to put some beating on your ass. But let's just keep it in the context of majority of the bosses don't know, right? So unconsciously, they're gonna ask you to do something. Boom. Hey, let's, like the example, stay 15 minutes after work. Boom. Okay. The boss recognize that Robert does it, but Jessica does it. Bet. Okay. So it's unconscious. All it is unconscious. So bet. Now I can lean on Robert ass. You feel me? Okay, let me lean on this nigga. So then, boom. He might try Jessica again, but then when he sees it doesn't work, he's just, well, let me not ask her, right? Boom, Robert again. 30 minutes. Hey, let me see if he'll do this work for me, this extra work. It's not even in his job description, but fuck it. Let me see. That's that yes employee. You feel me? Shit, I used to have a job. My nigga, that principal used to ask me to do all kind of shit. Nope, I'm gone. 3:30 came, I was out the door. It was 3:29. They damn, coach gone quick. I'm in my car and shit. You feel me? And you know how you put on at the interview. Yeah, man, I'm ready. We'll do everything, all the extra work and shit. I gotta, and then a real nigga, I gotta do a motherfucking thing. See, they try to trick you with the being a good team player thing. You feel me? Man, you gotta be a good team player. This is for the company. This is for the rise of this company and this building and shit. And that shit can cause you to feel guilty about something that doesn't have nothing to do with you. You here to carry out your assignment, and that assignment is based off of whatever your job description is. Cool. And get the fuck up out of there. But because you told them in the interview, yeah, I'm a good team player, I can put in extra work, right? Now you unconsciously feel guilty about leaving and shit because you signed a contract in your heart. So, hey, you can't feel guilty about that shit. You know what? That boss should know what time it is. You feel me? Shit, I was just trying to get in them draws. I was here trying to be like that, nigga. What you talking about? You know what time it is, boss. I'm just telling you what you wanted to hear, nigga. And I'm gone. Get on their ass, boy. So it starts slow, you feel me, with the bosses and shit. And then they'll be ask you or weekend. Say, come to the park. We got a company event happening at the park. I want you to be there. That's that voluntold shit. Remember that shit? God damn. Now, your wife mad at you because you doing some kind of voluntold work that's not in your time slot, and you're not getting paid for it, and you doing it looking crazy at this stand. Sitting there for, it's just 4 hours. That 4 hours turned to 5 because you in traffic too, baby. Chaos. And look, the 4 hours actually turns to 6 because you stay a little bit longer because the boss is trying to appease somebody else and you trying to appease the boss. So it's a whole psychological game going on. Oh my God. Chaos in the blood, baby. God damn. So one thing I do want the family to understand is if you are in that situation, to be strong, to be courageous, and to understand that they can't place guilt over you because you are doing what the job tells you to do. You feel me? Like, if they feel some type of way about it, they got to take that up with them. You feel me? As long as you're doing your job, then everything's a go. So don't feel guilty about saying no. You are somebody too, my nigga. These people put on the same pants and clothes as you. You think they bigger than you because they got a higher position? That's the whole macro control job thing that they're trying to create in this society, in the matrix. It's a leader dictatorship type thing, right? Where it goes down into hierarchy and stuff of that nature. So what I want you to understand is that Heru is a very, very good deity to fuck with, right? Especially in the aspect of strength and courage and standing up for yourself. Because you don't want to get manipulated by people based off of your ties or emotional draw to them. You feel me? That's a real huge one. You feel me? Very important to understand. It says to condition you to accept abuse. Oh God, to condition you to accept abuse or manipulation so you never feel the shock enough to push back or leave. Oh my God, just like the frog in warm water that never jumps out until it's too late. So, they have it in other ways too, like when my homegirls, right, they're strippers or whatever, right? Cool. They used to do this tactic in the strip club. Crazy as shit. I'm gonna just tell y'all, fuck it. Right? So boom. They would walk by, right? Walk by let's say it's a Target, it's a table or whatever, right? They'll walk by the Target, boom. Just walk by, see him, right? Say he got a bottle. Cause they ain't really fucking with niggas that don't got no money. You feel me? So if you got a bottle, that's a sign that you about to ball out in this bitch. You feel me? Cool. So now you got a bottle, right? They're gonna walk by again. Hey, Big Daddy, give me a shot. Boom. You give her that shot. Boy, you looking fine tonight. And she gonna walk off. She turn up, walk off, right? It's already set up in the play, nigga. I'm telling you what it is. Boom. She gonna come back. Hey, right now the dances is $10 for a whole dance, but I'm gonna give you 2 just because you look so good. And she gonna give you 2 for that $10, but the meantime you still tricking on the dance. Cool. She gonna burn out. Next play. Let me get your number. She gonna hit you first. Hey, let me get your number. She hit you with the number. You hit her with the number. Oh shit, I'm in that thing. Come on, man. I don't know if I could wait. Let's go to the back room. How much is the back room? Shit, this nothing but 500. You know what I'm saying? I know you got it, Big Daddy. Back room action. On and popping, right? She don't do nothing in the back room. You know what I'm saying? She might get a little bit more risque, but not as much. She gonna touch your wood and shit. You feel me? 500 complete. Then if she really feels like you a mark, she will pick that phone up and call you. And then it's on and popping. And now all of a sudden her bills paid and shit. and she looking for her next mark at the strip club. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling y'all what it is, baby. I'm just telling you, hey. So look, that's a tactic that's happening. You know what I'm saying? They slow walking the dog in that bitch. And I'm just telling you straight up and down. Look, I used to be the set off king in that, you feel me, in a particular strip club where homegirls work at, right? So they would give me all the ones and I would set that bitch off, right? And then guess what? This is when I was big and shit. So I looked like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? But it was all an illusion. Hey, I'll just tell y'all what it is. Boom, we set it off. Dudes in the back, they like, nigga, I got more money than this big ass goofy nigga. All right, fucking let the rain begin. Chaos in the blood. Hey, that is some crazy shit. So, you know, this stuff is happening, right? This stuff is happening, and you want to be able to protect yourself from the little nuances and the big surprise attack. There's a big sneak attack that also happens too as well. Look, boom. So the first one is the slow build. That's what I was talking about, the creeping up on you, right? That's when, you know, the small turns into the large. But they also got the big bitch, for the repetition-based numbing attack that the government uses. So that manipulation or that desensitization is a form of attacking your emotions all at once. Dropping a big one on you. So for instance, in the police brutality thing, right? They give you the Trayvon Martin heavy in our generation, because back in the day they had the same kind of Emmett Till kind of vibration, right? But boom, they give you the Trayvon Martin vibration. Right? Make it a big deal. Show you repetitiously over and over the police brutality or whatever, right? Or boom, George Floyd. That's a good one, because he was actually police brutality. So boom, George Floyd. Heavy, right? Boom, it's everywhere. Niggas got George Floyd as a holiday now. He's the symbol of police brutality and all of that, right? Based off of them constantly showing it to you because they want to desensitize the process of you getting your ass beat by the police, or you feeling less than or inferior to police. So now all of a sudden you see a cop come behind you and you all shook and shit, shell shocked, because your body, your cells have been programmed to believe that these cops are going to beat your ass. Based off of boom, they give you George Floyd, then they give you another one. Then slowly and surely you desensitize yourself to say, all right, well, fuck it, I'm going to just follow the laws or whatever, right? But in the grand scheme of things, they're just really shooking your body to feel fear against cops. So now all of a sudden, you don't know why you feel this way. You see a cop and you just all tense up, right? And that's causing your physiological language, your nervous system, to respond in such a way in the fight or flight response. And now your whole day is shook because you almost got pulled over, or you believed you was about to get pulled over. And your nervous system is just doing what it's doing to protect itself, right? In the fight or flight response, to make sure you can make it home safely. So they do this tactic in the aspect of giving you a huge emotional rush of something by putting it in your face over and over and over again. And then what they'll do is slowly drip, 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 follow the drip, right? Of small doses of it, so you can be desensitized to it. And that desensitization will just have you in a numbing effect, and you just are incongruent with the law. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling y'all what it is. That's what it is. You feel me? And that's how this thing is happening. Numbing through an overload. That's a small drip. They do it. They're doing it also in so many different ways. We just got to really pay attention to it and understand that to the core, that it's happening through the news, right? Through certain news aspects, through the gun. What's that? The gun, the school shootings and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Hell, they might even be doing it with these planes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because again, some of these planes, these commercial planes that have, now the India one was something different that just happened. But some of these commercial planes, okay, you do the Google research on this. There's thousands of commercial planes that go down or whatever a year, like 1,000, right? But you'll never hear about it. At the beginning of this year, they gave you 3-4 commercial planes that went down for a specific tactic. And look, there's thousands of planes that take off every day. So the odds of you getting in a plane crash is minuscule, really, really minuscule, right? But they're going to create a particular agenda to circumvent and to transfer your mind into another way of transportation, which might be some kind of underground water thing. We'll see. Hell, they just put that movie Plane on the goddamn Netflix. We just watched that this weekend. So that's number one. Gradual desensitization. Gradually. You feel me? Number 2, gaslighting. Now, some of y'all know about this one quite well. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone tries to make you doubt your reality, your memory, your feelings, or your perception of events. It's like mental and emotional warfare. Juneteenth is a form of gaslighting when it's used to celebrate Black freedom symbolically while ignoring the ongoing systems that still creates an inferiority complex. The gaslighter denies the truth so often, so confidently, that you start to wonder if you're wrong. So in this aspect of Juneteenth, which is coming up, they created this narrative that says you were slaves. And I get it. Some of y'all might believe that you were a slave in the ancient times, right? But we got to understand to the core that we were here and we had slaves. So the real truth is that they used the mind manipulation to reverse the idea based off of the TV and programming of showing you an illusionary idea of America back then, right? To make you believe that white people were in control and y'all were slaves. To create an inferiority complex amongst the masses. Now, the real idea was there was white slaves and there was Black slaves, right? And, they try to trick people by saying they were indentured servants or whatever, right? No, nigga, them white people were slaves too. You feel me? Hispanic, white, Black, right? It's the same thing that's happening today in the whole prison idea complex, right? Cool. So now you have Black owners and also white owners that were in cahoots to control a certain amount of people based off of their minds not being programmed in a way or not being able to see past a certain reality, right? Look, check this video out with Joe Rogan and them talking about it so we can go deeper into the fold of why this Juneteenth is so gaslighting and creating a narrative of control.
Africans were brought over on slave. I believe it may have happened, maybe people were brought over as slaves, but I don't think that the black people in America came from Africa on slave ships. I believe the people that were here were slowly conquered. First, they got the East Coast, and then they started spreading out west little by little, conquering. And when you conquer a tribe, what do? You enslave them. They're POWs, right?
Okay.
That's what you do. So after you conquer this tribe, you make them slaves. Now, how do you conquer the natives here? So let's say you got this tribe is warring against this tribe. Well, this tribe goes talk to the white man. White man says, yo, if you help me wipe out these people, then boom, I'll help you with whatever. So they get together and they wipe out this other tribe. Now, guess what? The white man now outnumbers this tribe. So he wipes them out. You just kill two birds with one stone. You just keep moving like that. We were the natives. We were not brought here on slave ships. That's not economically sound. This
what do you mean?
Make sense. So when Christopher Columbus got here, Christopher Columbus got to the Caribbean, according to primary source.
Right.
They basically said the first thing he did was take slaves. He didn't bring slaves. He took slaves from the island. He captured people. So when you have colonization, you got to remember, the United States was only built 13 colonies at first, right? You think this whole land was empty? No, there were natives here.
Right.
But today we're taught that natives is some other people. No, natives are the melanated African being that has come here since the beginning of the Mali Empire. We're talking about 14th, 13th century. We had already come here from Africa.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had already come here.
To the United States or to
this landmass we call the United States. So the way the ocean current works is it works from Africa, leaves out of West Africa, comes to South America and the Caribbean. That's just how the currents go. You don't need no paddle boat or nothing. It'll just, the currents just take you there, and then you travel up. But we had already been here. All you got to do is look up the story of Sarah Rector. Sarah Rector is a wealthy so-called Native American. I think she was a Choctaw tribe or one of these tribes, but she was wealthy, and she wanted a VI pass to go somewhere, and they had her classified as a free person. Why don't we know about the wealthy so-called black people in America? Why don't we know that there were black slave owners in America? Why is that not taught? Why is it not taught?
How many black slave owners were there?
Man, the natives here had slaves. They were trading slaves with the so-called white man.
Well, they definitely did that. Natives enslaved people of other tribes.
Right. So if those people are us, the so-called black man, if those natives were us, then we have to tell that history and say how we did have territories and we did, carry out commerce, and we weren't slaves. We were slave owners.
Right, but the majority of African Americans.
Right, let's stop it right there. Shout out to the God. I think his name is Hotep Jesus. Hey, I know that's his name, Hotep Jesus. Fuck it. I was tripped out too when I heard it, but the God dropped some light, so it is what it is. So yeah, now also what happens, right, is that we create this narrative or this idea that, boom, we were slaves, and they give us this day, this Juneteenth day, Freedom Day, to say, oh, black people, this is your day. Melanated people, this is your day, because remember, you were slaves. So they keep the rhetoric happening right in your mind to keep you in an inferior state. Then it's a double entendre thing that's happening, which is absolutely amazing. Then what they do is say, oh, okay, hey, look, we gave y'all the Juneteenth, so fuck your reparations and all that shit. We gave y'all a whole day and a month. What you talking about? What? Police brutality? We telling y'all it's a whole day on honor of you. You sit your ass down and chill, nigga. We recognizing y'all right here. What you talking about? So they gaslighting you from a whole nother level of genius, which is not too genius to me. Because the first time I seen them trying to pull that Juneteenth thing off, I said, oh, hell nah, y'all tripping in this bitch. to create an idea that you are somebody, when really they're trying to renege on the idea that you're a slave. And we're going to keep you in chains of the mind. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you what it is. So look, because they need a working class of people, right, to identify with the working class. So shit, why not let the gods do it? They strong, they mighty and shit. Fuck it. You feel me? Because if everybody has a sense of their own identity and mind, then who's gonna do the work? You think they're gonna give up their leisure and their white country clubs and all of that because you feel like you're somebody or whatever? No, they're playing a whole different game now, so they don't even have to have no rhetoric of you being enslaved. And again, you wasn't enslaved because your kinfolk and them was slaving some of y'all based off of they already been here and saying, nigga, we putting you to work because you done fucked up in some kind of law thing that they had back in the day. So it's a huge manipulation of mind where they're playing this narrative out of it was just nothing but black people that was slaves. There was white slaves, right? Hispanic slaves, black slaves, and so on and so forth. It's the same thing they doing with the manipulation of Beethoven. Beethoven was black, melanated. He was a Moor. So now all of a sudden, you're believing in a whole nother idea of the ancient world when that idea sticks into your past and makes you feel like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is justified in me being unconsciously the slave worker today. Because what happens is you don't take no sense of pride in yourself. You don't take no sense of ownership of yourself. You rather other people own you and tell you what to do instead of you directing your life and telling you what to do. So that subconscious programming, right, can have you in a repetitious cycle of working jobs that you don't like. But you need that feeling of somebody telling you what to do because, again, if somebody's not telling you what to do, it's causing a shift in your identity. And spiritual work is about shifting your identity, standing up for yourself, being the God, sovereign being of yourself, running amok on self, doing you to the utmost until you move out of this matrix completely. And the only way you do that is through the mind. Look like Malcolm X in this bitch, huh? Ha! Nigga, what? That nigga act like he was in deep thought and shit. Malcolm went to Mecca and he started to understand, hey, wait a minute. I don't have to be so gung-ho about, freeing everybody. It's the mind thing. And it's not about the race. That's what I want the family to understand too. You don't want to still group yourself in a box because you're black or melanated. You want to be able to have the mental alchemy to see the illusionary games of them putting you in this group think mentality and saying, you black, you're over here. You're white, you're over here. And then they make y'all fight while they sit at the top and just watch and observe. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is. It's a huge play that's being played in the masses. And the more you fall into that race baiting thing, right? Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed thing, the more you're going to keep on falling into a trance-like state that says, okay, I'm black, so I identify with Boom. This black narrative, but then guess what? There's a stereotype out here that puts you in an inferior complex. And that stereotype keeps on playing in the aspect that is Juneteenth thing, keeping you believing you're a slave and shit. You're not a slave. You're a god. And you're bigger than any kind of idea that they're trying to trick you into. So start doing the mental alchemy work, right? And removing the shackles from your mind. Let's get it. Let's get it. And number three. This one is one of those that's very important, and that can be sleight of handed based off of you can't see it. You wouldn't even see it coming because they make it so nonchalant, if you will, right? Or kind of like in a sense of like, well, you know, I'm just, this is just what it is. This is all it is, right? This is what it is. Double bind, no win scenarios. The double bind, no win scenarios. So the double bind is, remember, they told you right in high school, they said, hey, you can either go to college or go to the army. You choose. And shit, both of them, they was like, shit, both of them is to set up the society at large and to set you on your way to be a worker. Because the more energy you put into a thing, now you got to carry out that mission based off of you put so much time in your mind. So for the mere fact that you went and got that degree, now all of a sudden you're going to stay hook, line, and synced into, fuck it, I got to do this job, whatever this degree allows me to do. I got to do this job no matter what. Same thing with the army. You feel me? You went to the army, and now some of my brothers is out of that army, and they breaking free in the mind and shit. Because as they was in there, they started to, you know, realize what was happening. But you in the army, you be an upstanding citizen, and all of a sudden you still go to work in a way that protects and serves. So you see a lot of army men becoming cops. A lot of army men becoming security guards and shit, firefighters and stuff, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying we don't need the particular work of protection and things of that nature. But if that was never your destination as a true sovereign being, then you were just manipulated by the movies they used to show. The army men movies. Y'all remember those? When an armed man, he a drunk guy on the couch and shit, don't know what to do with his life, sees this commercial, his mama says, you got so much talent. You remember that? You got so much talent, you can do something. All of a sudden, he ends up in the army, but he be slacking and shit, but he really so talented. You start subconsciously thinking that's you and shit. Now you sniper in this bitch. Oh, I could do that too. Then look. Then you go to the army and be a cook or something. Ha! Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is, baby. I put my hands up. You thought you was gonna be that deep ass sniper, sniping niggas and shit. You be in the army mopping the floor and shit. They stop playing with y'all, dog. Y'all tripping in this bitch. You be in that hole. Hey, I'm doing my big one. Fuck it. Now, shit. If I went to the army, that's what I would have wanted to do. Fuck that. You feel me? I would have been good with that chef. Hey, let me mop what you need. You feel me? You ain't about to put me on that field though. Hell nah. Ain't about to have that on my conscience. Boys killing people over something they don't even know. That's a bigger play. What? No wonder them boys come back with that PSTD and stuff like that. Boys, you killed a whole family. This nigga grew up 18 years, 27, grew up. You have to have a different mind to take yourself into that reality and say, okay, these motherfuckers are the enemies. Not knowing that they just trying to defend their land because some big boogeyman America is trying to get the oil out of your land. And they trying to defend it like, damn, I gotta defend my home, dog. God damn, but you fighting them saying, yeah, nigga, y'all got us fucked up. You never come back on this now. 9/11, we remember. It be fucked up ever since. God damn. Then you get out, realize the truth, say, damn, I done killed 15 families. You'll be fucked up when you come home, boy. What you talking about? That shit'll fuck you up. Telling you, boy, that's chaos in the blood. So now let's get back to it. Double bind. Here goes one in a relationship aspect. If you really love me, you stay. But if you leave, you're proving you never cared. So this is what Cassie is saying is happening to her. And you know, right, it might be true and exact, you feel me? Because again, the manipulation by Diddy could be in the form of this dark psychology stuff. And there's so much more to it too. So much more. So I suggest everybody read that book. And again, we read in the Mind Control 101 in the Patreon. So if y'all want to get down with the get down and really fall deeper into the fold of this mind control and manipulation and persuasion, patreon.com/mental alchemy. You'll probably see it down below. And it's discounted right now for the family so we can all dive deep into the fold. I think it's like $3 a month for the lowest tier. So y'all can run it up and come join us and dive deep into the fold so we can get down with this information. Because again, this thing is like, we have to really get into the space of really rebuilding ourselves from the ground up through loving on ourselves, right? Through having like-minded individuals that can see, you know what I'm saying, higher than just the subservient or the inferior complex ideas. We want to be free in this bitch. You feel me? We're not trying to be stuck in a space of woe is me, same rhetoric, right? You need to be traveling the world. You need to be kicking it. You need to be eating and doing whatever you want instead of being in a system that's creating a narrative for you to not be free in the mind. You're just stuck in a robotic state that's keeping you a slave. So even in the aspect of what we doing in the Patreon, us building together and finding ideas, even though I'm the whatever leader in that thing or whatever, right? That's just part of a whole group that's actually making headway in freedom in the mind. Because we got some brothers and sisters in that group that's tapping in and turned on and turned out. And that's what we're talking about right there, baby. So yeah, hey, it's coming. Mind Control 101. We already started the book. Y'all might as well get down with the get down and come and get down with the information so you can protect yourself, and then you can also rule and do you. It says to control your behavior by forcing you to pick between two negatives or manipulated outcomes. No matter what you choose, you lose and they win. So again, they did it when you got out of high school. They do it with the voting thing, right? Republican or Democratic, right? They not say, hey, we don't give a fuck what y'all choose. We just gonna let y'all believe y'all chose. Pick one of these two. Ha, chaos in the blood. You feel me? Yeah, we used to do it to our students at in elementary. You feel me? They did a particular thing that was wrong, right? And we would give them two choices, and them two choices would both be bad, essentially. You feel me? Hey, you can either have not have recess, or you can go to timeout. Which one you want to do? Kids say, I go to timeout right now. You know what I'm saying? And the kids would go because they were fighting. They needed a choice. Like mentally, they needed a choice to be able to uh, uh, not have battles in their mind to create this big eruption in the classroom. So they erupting in the classroom, and you got to give them a choice, right? Because then they would believe that they're in control. Like, oh, okay, well, at least I got to choose. You feel me? When all of a sudden you is in control anyway. Like, Johnny, all right now, Johnny, hey, that was your third strike. And look, I ain't gonna be the bearer of bad news. You either gonna have no recess, or you're gonna go sit at that wall for 10 minutes. You make it low, you say 10 minutes, and then it'll be like 30 minutes and shit. They might come out at 5 minutes and say, Coach, can I play now? No. Yeah, just a little bit longer. Go back. You fucking their ass up, boy. What? God damn. So the double bind is one of those things where you got to see past the tactics. They might do it at your job too. You feel me? Or they're giving you two scenarios. All right. So either you're gonna stay after work and do this damn. That shit fucked up. That shit crazy. That's what they do. This shit crazy. Look, tell you straight up at work. Either you're gonna stay and do this blah 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 library night, right? Or you're gonna have to come on the weekend and do the park thing. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I gotta choose. I don't, I guess I gotta choose. What if you chose neither? You know what? I'm not doing none. What's up? You feel me? Now, again, getting back to what we was talking about earlier, you feel in your heart that you have some kind of guilt trap because you chose yourself instead of the options that they gave you. So the guilt trap is something that you have to get over inside of your heart, inside of your mind, right? And understand that these people don't care about you, and they don't have no jurisdiction on your being. If you did a particular job, and this is what your job entails, right? Boom, you need to be able to leave that job when your time is up and says, this is it. Hell, I had an old teacher, this old school teacher at my school. Her name was Miss Jackson or something like that, right? Real old school teacher. She didn't put up with shit, not the principal, nothing, right? And maybe that seniority complex got in her mind where she didn't do nothing extra. She didn't give a fuck what y'all was talking about, boy. I ain't doing it. And she would leave, right? And guess what? The principals respected her more than the motherfuckers that was doing extra work and shit. My naive ass, I'm doing extra work too. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to. Shit, I just started at this job. I need to relax. I better get my shit right. You feel me? The principal respected her more based off of she standing up for herself and saying, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck what you talk about, ma'am. Get out of my face. Now, there's also a caveat to that because she worked with the principal when she was a teacher too. So then that mental, game could happen in her mind to where she's like, that bitch, Nigga, I got some dirt on that hoe. Oh, hell no. She can't tell me nothing. Nata. No, no, no. You feel me? So now all of a sudden, she might have some kind of mental manipulation in her mind that's saying, give a fuck what this bitch talking about, I'm gone. So that could be a part in it too. I noticed that was something that they had this relationship because she was a teacher there as well, whatever, right? But I believe that her ability to have respect for her time and herself moved people out the way, because then we got another principal and she was still talking that shit. She just carried on the same mission, and the new principal had to acquiesce to the same energy. Chaos in the blood, baby. So again, choosing yourself is okay. Like, what does that look like for you? What does that feel like for you? How do you move into the space of saying, you know what? I understand that you are my employer or boss, right, at this job. But that doesn't mean you're the boss of my life. That doesn't mean you rule over my particular world. I have things to do. I have people to see, and I don't have to acquiesce because you have some kind of emotional trauma inside your system to where you're trying to make me feel more and more inferior. Now, the idea is, if you do have that challenging experience with your boss, I want you to hear me with this, right? So, boom, you're standing up for yourself and you're doing you, right? Now, your boss pulls you into the office, right? Guess what? That's good. Because again, let's talk and figure this thing out. Hey, I just don't know if I'm just trying to figure out if you're doing the right thing or what's going on. I'm like, well, you need to say, well, sir, I'm actually here on time, actually filling out all the requirements of this job, and I get my work done. Is there anything late on your end? Anybody complaining about anything? No, 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 no. Okay, all the boxes are checked. Okay, cool. So, what's your problem? Now, what they're going to do is try to, because they're trying to protect their ego, they're going to try to mentally manipulate an idea that's not real. And you have to be able to understand that aspect of it. Like, oh no, that's not me. I'm sorry, sir. That is not me. I don't know what that is, but that's not me. I'm sorry. Are we done here? Hey, man, you look good, boy. Hey, you look good. You look sharp in that outfit. You feel me? You play with them, feed their ego a little bit. You feel me? Sharp, you know what I'm saying? Because now you doing what? Dark psychology on them. Ha. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, I'm just telling y'all what it is. So now all of a sudden, the boss, because of that first reaction, or in that first time y'all had to meet, based off of him not knowing why y'all need to meet, he just putting in some kind of energy of y'all meeting, right? Is now setting the foundation for how they about to approach you. And that's not only in a job, that's in your relationships, that's in your friendships, and so on and so forth. You got to set boundaries. You got to set a clear, defined understanding of how you're going to show up in this world and be respected as a god and a goddess. The only way you can do that is by taking back your mind. True freedom starts with your mind. Your mind. The end. And then it's starting in your mind. That's when you set yourself free. Because again, everything starts with the small, right? So you got to remember, once your inner world says you're free, then essentially your outer world will start to stimulate that response. So now all of a sudden you're free, boom. Watch how the illusion starts to shift into you, where the world starts chasing you. And then what happens is, oh shit, you realize you don't have a job because money is coming in from so many different streams of income, right? Oh shit, wait, you could travel the world because now you have more time and you're set up in a particular way that says, okay, let me live out my adventure in a particular way I want. Now you actually are leading yourself into, okay, what do I want to do for me, right? Instead of somebody supplying information and telling you what to do. Give me some questions, baby. Give me some questions. What y'all got? What y'all got? Give me some questions. Let me see what I had on this slide. I forgot. Oh shit, this one was a big one. You're being told to be responsible and self-sufficient, but punished for doing too well. Will work for welfare, huh? If you don't work, you're seen as lazy. If you do work, you lose support you still need. Yeah, so this is a governmental control tactic that they use, that they have in the book. In a book, not in that book, but in a book that I read. It's kind of government psychological book. Anyway, the book was talking about how they just give you just enough. Like, so if you're at a job, right? Say you make 50,000, right? Boom, that 50 is actually 30. Let's say the 50 is actually 40 because of taxes and shit, right? Boom, that 40 is keeping you in a sense of control and in a illusionary control, essentially, because you're not making enough to get out, and then they still can keep your body at these jobs. Cool, right? The same thing is happening with the welfare people. They're getting controlled by not doing absolutely nothing and saying, here, we're just going to give you this to sustain you and keep you in a float. So now all of a sudden, there's an invisible line of welfare and people that work, right? Not somebody that has a whatever job, but welfare and people that work, that's getting told based off of they're making just enough to get taxed, and they're not making nothing, so they just live in control. So you got to understand that to the core. You got to understand that in yourself, right? Like the government with this taxation thing is still controlling you because that, let's say it's 10,000, right? They tax you. They taking 300 out your check every month. You don't see it. Cool, right? Then they double back and get you with the what's it called? Well, they don't get you. They probably give you 2,000 back. You feel me? But they done took 10. You feel me? That 10 could have set you up out of here and set you free. But because they've been taking it from you slowly and surely, you don't see it coming. And it's just a small drip thing that's happening that then that now you staying at this job because, again, you can't just get over the hump. So a way to combat that is by you're gonna have, because that first stage is a motherfucker, right? So you're gonna have to like lower your ego, right? And get into a space of understanding that you might have to live way below your means to get up out of that first stage. But once you do that, then you can ride to this out into the sunset. What Jim Carrey said. Jim Carrey said, people ain't willing to struggle for 2 years of their life to live 30 years free. So that 2 years of you removing the ego out of this thing, driving a whatever, right? Driving a cash car, living with a roommate or whatever it might be, right? Whatever it might be in your world. Of you doing that is holding you hostage to live in the world that's going to keep you at bay and set at a particular price level. So it's real easy if you really put the work in, like D-Ray and I did it. You feel me? It's a mental thing, right? Like right now we're losing. I'm lost a lot of weight. I was 282. I'm 267 right now. You feel me? And shit, that shit gonna keep on going. And essentially what we're doing is disciplining how we eat, because we used to just eat out, all of that stuff, right? Now we're eating one time a day, 24-hour fasting, right? And essentially we've been losing weight like a motherfucker. You feel me? Dropping the weight, the bad weight. And it's helping us become more healthier, more conscious, more free of any kind of disease, if you will. And just helping our body become in shape and shit. You feel me? Real fly shit. You feel me? Wait until y'all see me in Miami in the beach. Gonna be fly, muscles and shit. You feel me? 8-pack in this bitch. So, it is because shit. I used to weigh 220. And that was a good way. And I was big than a motherfucker at 220. Huge, right? That's when I was younger and shit and getting into the gym life and all of that other stuff. Now, nigga, I ballooned all the way up to 280. I said, oh, no, I got to get back down. You feel me? I know my metabolism slowed down, but I can run it. I can run the play on myself because I got self-discipline and I got love for myself. So that's the same thing with you. You got to understand that, they'll let you live in the set worshiping ideas of, chasing stuff, chasing the glamour, and the glamour will set you back. But if you work with set will set you free. So working with set is disciplining the glamour. Working with set is disciplining your addictions. Working with set is disciplining your ability to sit still and go within and tap into that higher mind, that God mind, that Godhead. Why is Osiris called the corn mummy? I don't have no idea why. It's probably some kind of thing, him dealing with corn or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly. Peace to the gods. What's up, Luck? Yep, it's always a mind thing, Selena. It's always in the mind. But the mind is a part of an observation. You feel me? Observation is the aspect of you being able to observe these low vibrational thoughts that's coming to you and understand that if you just put in a repetitious behavior of consistent mental alchemy, essentially all of that stuff will dissolve away and fade away. So I used to be addicted to drugs heavy, right? And it was a slow climb for me because essentially the drugs had took over my whole being. And essentially what happened was, as I was going through my journey of addiction, right, I had to climb out of that bitch over and over and over, all the way to a higher state of mind, a consciousness. So when I did my 40-day fast, that was it. That was done with any alcohol. Like the alcohol used to control me. Smoking used to control me. Weed used to control me, right? But each step of the way, I kept on beating every single one. You feel me? First, it was the hard drugs like the bars and the Xanax. You feel me? That shit had me fucked up. I couldn't shake that shit, but I broke it first. then the smaller ones happen, right? And then now shit, high on life. So understand to the core that, you know, that's an important energy to 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 have, right? The disciplined nature in your world where you don't let nothing control you through the set worshiping aspect of this thing. Did y'all see that shit with the the couple getting the guy killed his girl on Facebook Live. Crazy ass shit, boy. And again, I'm just telling y'all what it is. I think, hey, that Jabba Dabba Doo, boy. That Jabba Dabba Doo. I'm telling you, nigga, got boys in a trance in this bitch. Hey, that whole Corona time or whatever, and then them boys getting that. Ugh. I was like, oh, so you seeing a whole bunch of crash out shit, and somebody's gonna have to explain it. You feel me? So y'all be careful out here, because a lot of niggas is on zombie time. And you know, I don't know what's in that stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Some of this stuff is unwarranted. I think what happens is it does an emotional spike to you. So like if your emotions was here, now you go to 10 immediately, and you don't even realize you did the action that caused you to be in jail or off yourself. So y'all be careful. Y'all be careful out here with the, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine now you dating somebody? Did you take the jab? You took the jab? You took it? Oh, okay. I see you. You took that thing? Yeah, I took it. Oh, okay, noted. After this lunch date, is never, ever. The guys asking the girls too. Quick. You know what I'm saying? You on a date with a chick. You know, yeah, casually say, yeah, man, remember when that corona was happening? Man, I got real sick. I felt that shit. That shit was crazy. She said, yeah, man, I had took the jab just to get protected. I'm on shot number 4. You look at her like, oh, really? What about you? Oh, yeah. You know, you lie to her real quick. Oh, yeah, girl, you know, shit. No, I got my shit. I got my shot. You get the fuck up out of there, boy. I'm telling you, nigga. Chaos in the blood. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I'm just telling y'all what it is, man. It go down. God damn. Yourself, family. I love and appreciate y'all, man. Love and appreciate y'all. Patreon family. We starting Mind Control 101. We already started, but we're gonna continue Mind Control 101 in the Patreon. Y'all get down with the family. Y'all meet us tomorrow. We going in the Mind Control 101. We building every Wednesday and Saturday in the book club, diving deep into the fold of the mental manipulation. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.